You are listening to the Boss Experience Podcast, a podcast with conversations about business growth, self-development, and maintaining a mindset to achieve business success. My name is Michele Davis, and I am a business strategist and coach, and I am your host. Let's get started. Welcome to another episode of the Boss Experience Podcast. My name is Michele Davis, and I'm your host. In this episode, I'm actually going to discuss one of the biggest problems people have when they think about starting a business online, and that is what to sell. After all, you can't be in business if you don't know what to sell. But I'm going to take a different approach when it comes down to what you should sell. And this approach is controversial. It goes against everything you'll hear online, everything that the gurus will tell you. And most people actually tell you to start a business kind of backwards. They actually will tell you, first, find out what's popular online. First, find out what's trending online. First, figure out what sells. What's selling online? What is the fastest selling product? What is the fastest selling service? What are people doing to make money online? And so what ends up happening is people get shiny object syndrome. They start chasing all of these things. And when I say all of these things, what happens is they chase the first thing they see. The minute they have it in their mind, they want to start a business. So they chase that first thing they see, not having any skill or expertise related to that service to be able to effectively market that product, right? So they chase after the first thing they see. And then when that flops and that doesn't work out, then they go and they chase after the next thing. And then what happens next is you kind of think, oh, well, maybe I should hop on this masterclass, or maybe I should buy this course, or maybe I should do this or that. And that's not, my advice is never to start a business that way, because what you're going to end up chasing is this ideal product that you think is going to sell. And the problem with chasing trends and chasing products, and I talk about this all the time in my interviews, I talk about this all the time on my podcast, I say this all the time, is you cannot build a business based on trends. And here's the problem when you build a business based on trends is when that trend runs out, what are you going to do next? You're going to be out of business. Perfect example. If you were around 2017, 2018, you had a lot of people open up or launch these e-commerce stores entirely around fidget spinners. Okay, fidget spinners, if you don't know what that was that was those little things that twirled around, and it was designed to help people actually reduce anxiety. It was, viewed as a great tool for kids. And people must have thought it was going to be around forever because people built entire businesses around fidget spinners. The trend lasted about 6 months. I don't even think it lasted a year. And guess what happened to all of those businesses that opened up for the sole purpose of selling fidget spinners? They're not in business anymore. So when you start a business solely based on what you think is trending, you're not only putting yourself at risk of not having a sustainable business, but you're also denying, your desire to feel passionate about what you are selling. And so many people get caught up in passion can't equal to you being successful. And I need you to unlearn that in this episode. I need you to unlearn that. I need you to give yourself permission to think about what you're passionate about. Give yourself permission to claim that you can build a business around something that you're already skilled at, already have expertise in, that you also enjoy. Now, it doesn't mean just because you're passionate about something, it's going to make you money. You do have to do your due diligence, and you do have to do your market research and make sure that you establish a business that's actually going to end up being profitable. And most importantly, you're going to have to be able to build that foundation for your business so that you're establishing a sustainable business. So let's talk about how you go from passion to actual business idea, which is what this episode is entirely about. So let's get into it. Okay, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to do a brain dump. Well, you may be asking, Michele, what is a brain dump, right? So a brain dump is everything that comes to mind. You're allowing yourself to think freely. You're allowing yourself to not have any restraints or limitations on what you think. You're going to allow yourself to think freely, and you're going to grab some paper. And you're going to take that paper, and like I said, you're going to let yourself think freely, and you're going to think about three things. Okay. So, we talked about, the fact that you want to think about things you enjoy doing, things that you like. Hey, if you're enjoying this episode and you're ready to take that next step to finally become a professional service provider on your own terms, I want you to consider working with me. When you work with me, I help you start your business the right way from the beginning so you can generate the revenue you desire doing what you love. So head over to CEOBlueprintAcademy.com. That's CEOBlueprintAcademy.com to check out the ways you can work with me to get set up for business success right from the start. That's CEOBlueprintAcademy.com. Okay, back to the show. The first thing you're going to think about is, what is it that you enjoy? Not things that you've done that the children enjoy, not things that you've done that your spouse enjoys, not things that you've done that, you've been dragged along and forced to enjoy. What is it that you enjoy? And it's a question we don't ask ourselves enough of. What do we like? What do we enjoy doing? What brings us peace and solitude, when we are doing it? Because when you're thinking about building a business, if you build a business around things that you don't like or you're not passionate about, what ends up happening is you end up not being consistent, and you stop showing up for your business when things are not going smooth 100% of the time, because, that's a misconception that entrepreneurship is not for the weak. But you don't want to fall behind on consistency, and you don't want to create another job for yourself. A lot of the people that I talk to, both as guests on my podcast, kind of fell into entrepreneurship because the 9 to 5 didn't work for them, or they couldn't find a job. That's what made me start my own business. But even when I tried to find a job, I couldn't find a job. So I don't want to create another one of those for myself. I don't want to find myself working so many hours in my business that I'm just angry about this business I started, and then I just end up giving up altogether. So whatever you build your business around needs to be something that brings you joy, something you enjoy doing. Second thing is, what are you skilled at? Think about everything you've done in your career, and don't discount those experiences, because those experiences are valuable. So think about all the skills that you would have on your resume, all of the skills that you have done over the years. Most people don't realize, and they don't think about the fact that your job has been monetizing those skills for years, whether it was one job or multiple jobs. And all of your skills are profitable. After all, your employer has profited from your skills over the years, and they have benefited from you doing the very work that you're now looking at monetizing. So think about, what skills have you acquired over the years? And if you're having trouble thinking about it, think about, what are some things that people have asked you or looked to you to help them with? What problems have you solved for people? And think about your career, think about your family life, think about your neighbors, think about everything that's happened in your life. What skills and experiences do you have? And don't think of it in terms of just, I'm an administrative assistant and I type correspondence. Well, what else do you do with that job? Do you keep the office organized? Do you know how to navigate, IT, which is your computer systems and all the tech? Like, think deep about your skills and your expertise. And then you also want to think about things that you've overcome. So this is the third thing you want to think about. What is it that you've overcome in your life? At any age, what have you overcome? And what came out of that experience for you? What strength came out of that experience for you? Okay, so now that you've done that brain dump, right, where you have all of your passions, things that bring you joy, you have your skills and experiences, and you have all of those things that you've overcome. Now that you have all of that written down, now you want to look at those things. What exactly did you write? For everything you've overcome, every skill every passion. What problem connects to that particular skill? What problem connects to that particular thing you've overcome? And you may be asking, why do I need to focus on the problem? And I know you're saying, Michele, I just wrote down a bunch of things that I've experienced. How do the two connect? We're going to talk about that. So as an entrepreneur, you're solving problems. The problem that you solve for people has to be big enough and transformative enough that they will pay you for it, right? Whether it's a product, whether it's a service, whatever it is, you have to solve a big problem. But you have to understand who you plan to have as a customer in your business. And you have to know how to be able to reach them in your messaging and marketing. That's why it's so important for you to really connect with what it is you're passionate about, because when you convey a message to people based on something you've experienced, something you've overcome, or something you can talk ad nauseum about, they're going to pay attention to you. They're going to feel like you understand them as long as your messaging is on point, right? Okay, the next thing you want to do is you want to look at this list and you want to just kind of think for a moment. And the first thing that may jump into your mind is not everything on this list I can envision myself doing. So don't focus on those. Instead, flip your brain around, right? And allow yourself to focus on those problems that you identified, that can be solved for people. Allow yourself to focus on which problems you envision yourself solving, okay? And then you want to start circling those and you want to move those into another list. And if there were some items that you didn't connect to a problem quite yet because you just don't know what problem they relate to, you definitely want to come back to those because there may be some items there floating around that you can actually turn into a business idea. But if you don't have that full list yet, just focus on the problems you were able to identify and then think about which one of these problems can I solve for people? Which ones actually I would enjoy solving? Which one of these problems I would actually feel good about solving for people? Now let's talk about what to do next. So the final thing you want to do, now that you've done that brain dump about all of your expertise, experiences, and skills and passions, right? You have identified problems for everything that you're good at. Now it's time to look at that list again. And for everything that you circled and you can envision yourself solving a problem, now it's time to bring those items over into another list. Think about everything that person experiences when they have that problem and think about the services you can provide. And so when you are done with that exercise, you have a list of potential business ideas that are based and rooted in what you're actually experienced and skilled at. Do not build a business around things that you're not qualified to do or try and solve problems you're not qualified to solve. And don't spend a bunch of money trying to learn something new. Spend your money and invest in your business to evolve your business idea into a profitable business. So that is a wrap for this episode. And I will see you in the next episode of the Boss Experience podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
When you're juggling work, family, and your own business aspirations, the last thing you want to worry about is what's for dinner every single night. Then when you add on the endless supermarket trips, hours spent in the kitchen, and the money wasted on takeout, it can really take a toll on your precious time and budget. And let's not forget about those picky little eaters in our household that never seem satisfied. But fear not. I recently discovered Cook Unity, and it's been a total lifesaver. Cook Unity delivers restaurant-quality meals prepared by local chefs right to your doorstep. And guess what? You get to choose the delivery schedule that works best for you, so no more stressing about meal planning or cooking every night. With Cook Unity, all you have to do is heat and serve. It's that simple. And the best part? You can customize your meals to fit your dietary preferences. Whether you're into high protein, carb-friendly, keto, paleo, or any other diet. Just a click of a button on your computer or phone, and voila. Oh, And did I mention that the meals from Cook Unity are priced the same as your average grocery bill? It's an absolute steal. And the best part? Even my picky kids love the selection and taste of the food. So it's a win-win for the whole family. So here's the deal. If you're ready to reclaim your time and simplify your weeknight dinners, give Cook Unity a try. And as a special offer for Michelle's The Boss Experience podcast listeners, you get $50 off your first order. Just visit thebossexperiencepodcast.com/cookunity to claim your discount now. Trust me, you won't regret it. That's thebossexperiencepodcast.com/cookunity to get your $50 off now. Now back to the episode.
Thank you for tuning in to the Boss Experience podcast. Don't forget to leave a review for this episode and tune in next time.